War is as old as civilization itself, and nowhere is this truth more evident than in Mesopotamia, the land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, where the world's first cities emerged and human society began to organize itself into states with rulers, laws, and armies. In this fertile crescent, often called the cradle of civilization, agriculture, trade, and writing flourished. But so too did conflict, for the same lands that gave life could also spark endless rivalries. Mesopotamia's wars were not only about survival, but also about power, prestige, and the ability of rulers to demonstrate divine favor through military victory. These struggles laid the foundation for recorded history's first chronicles of organized warfare, shaping the methods and meanings of war for millennia to come. The earliest conflicts in Mesopotamia arose among the Sumerian city-states such as Uruk, Ur, Kish, and Lagash. These cities were independent political entities with their own rulers, temples, and armies, yet they shared a common culture, language, and religious system. The idea that an empire could be maintained through both force and intimidation became, a recurring theme in world history. Mesopotamian warfare was not just about armies and battles. It was deeply connected to religion and society. Kings often portrayed themselves as chosen by the gods to lead their people in war, and victory was seen as divine approval, while defeat could be interpreted as the gods' anger. Temples and religious rituals played a role in preparing for war, and spoils of conquest were often dedicated to the gods. War also reshaped Mesopotamian society by creating hierarchies of soldiers, officials, and laborers who supported the war machine. The need for weapons, fortifications, and supplies stimulated craftsmanship and trade, linking war with economic development. Another important aspect of Mesopotamian warfare was the recording of battles in art and literature. From the stele of the vultures to the annals of Assyrian kings, these records not only preserved historical events, but also served as propaganda. They glorified rulers, presented victories as inevitable, and depicted enemies as chaotic forces of disorder. Such records helped to legitimize kingship and reinforce social unity by casting war as a cosmic struggle between order and chaos. This tradition of war as narrative can be traced through later civilizations, including Greece and Rome, where history and myth blended to explain and justify conflict. While Mesopotamian wars often brought destruction, they also fostered cultural exchange and technological progress. Conquered peoples introduced new ideas, technologies, and practices that enriched Mesopotamian civilization. The Akkadians adopted aspects of Sumerian culture, while later Babylonians and Assyrians integrated influences from across the Near East. Even deportations, which were meant to suppress resistance, inadvertently spread languages, religious practices, and artistic traditions across vast regions. Thus, war, while devastating in the short term, contributed to the long-term dynamism of Mesopotamian civilization. In the end, the story of war in Mesopotamia is both tragic and foundational. It shows humanity's earliest attempts to harness organized violence in the service of political ambition and divine authority. The city-states of Sumer, the empire of Akkad, the laws of Babylon, and the terror of Assyria all illustrate different stages in the evolution of warfare. From spears and shields carved on stone steles to iron weapons and siege engines, the tools of war advanced rapidly in Mesopotamia, setting precedents that would echo through history. At the same time, these wars left behind lessons about the dangers of relying on fear, the fragility of empires built on conquest, and the enduring human tendency to seek power through conflict. When we look back at Mesopotamia, we see more than the world's first cities and writing systems. We see the birthplace of organized war. In the fertile lands between two rivers where civilization began, humans also learned how to fight for territory, resources, and dominance. These first recorded wars remind us that conflict has always been intertwined with culture and statecraft, shaping not only who ruled, but also how societies understood themselves and their gods. The legacy of Mesopotamian warfare is a testament to both the creativity and the destructiveness of humanity's earliest civilizations, a story that continues to resonate in every empire and army that followed.